I think we're going to get started here this morning. Thank you to everyone who joined us. I'm not sure if you're all from a place where it's still, actually it's afternoon. If you're from a place where it's morning or afternoon or even later in the day, we're happy to have you here. We're coming to you from the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at the University of South Dakota. And our office is here in Sioux Falls, but we have branch offices in Brookings and Vermilion. So you are here as part of our new OLLI Shorts. Actually, this is our second year of the OLLI Shorts program, 20-minute programs in the month of February, every day except February 21st, which is a holiday. And we'll have different topics every day. You use the same link if you want to come back. If you need a schedule, be sure you send us an email. We'll be happy to send one out to you. And feel free to share this link with your friends because we want more people to join OLLI. And this is a great example of some of the great topics that we have. We're going to have a Q&A at the end after our speaker. We will end by 1 o'clock. And I also want to thank the South Dakota Humanities Council and the National Endowment for the Humanities for the funding that helped make this program possible. Now today, I'm going to introduce our speaker, who's actually a friend of mine. I'm so excited to have her here. She has such a cool job, and I can't wait for you to hear about it. Her name is Denise Blomberg. Denise, let's say hi to everybody.
Hey.
All right. Do you want to get started? We're ready for you.
Okay. Well, greetings. As Thea mentioned, I'm Denise Blomberg. I live in Sioux Falls as well as where Thea's headquartered at. We have been friends since a few months before her daughter was born. So if any of you know Maddie, you know she's must be about 26 now, 25, 26.
Yes.
We've known each other a long time. So it's always great when your life adventures allow you to take your friends and relationships with you, no matter where you go or whatever you're doing in this life. And so to that point, I am the Director of Strategic Partnerships for an organization called Got Sneakers, which is a sneaker recycling organization that's based in Miami. And we are actually celebrating our 6th anniversary this week. I'll tell you a little bit of the story of how I got here, because at age 61, I didn't think that I would end up working in the sneaker hospice world. But my background is in healthcare. I worked for Avera for many years, and then through a serendipitous opportunity, joined an international nonprofit called Samaritan's Feet, which put new shoes on the feet of children and adults all around the world and in the United States, and served as their regional director. Kind of an interesting segue to go from distributing new shoes to then working with recycled sneakers and sneakers in the afterlife. So if you've got an hour and want to Zoom and have coffee sometime, I'll tell you the whole weird story, because I would have never put myself where I'm at now. But again, I talk about how it's amazing how we can take relationships with us no matter where we go or how far away we go from the field that we were originally in. So I see a lot of faces on the screen. So nice to see people. It's been a long couple of years, and as somebody alluded to, it was your 64th Groundhog Day. It seems like Groundhog Day every day since March 13th of 2020 for most of us. But by a show of hands, let me see how many of you recycle cans or newspapers or cardboard on a regular basis. Okay. Have any of you ever thought about recycling clothing or sneakers, or have done so? Good to see. Good to see. It's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now with you. I'm going to pull up it says that you disabled screen sharing, Thea. That's okay. Thea knows that I'm not the most tech savvy person, and so she needs to do everything she can in order for me to be able to share stuff. Hang on just
Sorry about that. You should be good now.
Okay, hold on here. Just a second. Okay. Sorry about this, guys.
It's okay.
Having some difficulty, Thea. It's just bringing up a sharing option screen.
When it brings up the share options screen, do you see the page that you want to open?
I do not.
Okay, then step back out of minimize Zoom, and then
Okay.
go open the page that you want to share with us.
Okay.
Or I can, you know what? I can do it. I have it called up. Is it your website one?
Yeah, it's our website.
Okay. I can get that.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's great.
It worked an hour ago, guys. It really did. So
Give me just a second. This happens. It's no big deal. We gotcha. Okay, I'm getting there. Oh, that's Facebook. We don't need that one. Find the other one. Let's see. Hold on. So sorry.
So just a little bit about Got Sneakers while Thea pulls that up. As I mentioned, we're a sneaker recycling organization that's based in Miami, founded by two childhood friends that have known each other since they were 5 years old, who kind of always wanted to have a business, but didn't really know what that looked like. And so they had a business model and a logo. And 6 years ago this week set out to make a difference in the world through the world of recycling sneakers. And interestingly enough, as I mentioned, I've worked with new footwear. When I was in healthcare, I worked in the hospice world. So I kind of equate sneaker recycling to sneaker hospice in a way, because what we don't know is that there are millions of pairs of sneakers and shoes that end up in landfills every year. You can go ahead and scroll down to the data there. There's some pretty staggering statistics about the amount of footwear that ends up in landfills, garbage cans, et cetera. And we all know that there are many items in this world that just simply don't decompose. I mean, there's been a lot of emphasis on electronics, on things that just are not biodegradable, or the technology isn't there yet to make them biodegradable. Shoes and sneakers are one of those items. But yet they are one of the most sought after items, because when you've got 600 million plus people in the world that don't even own a pair of shoes or who are walking around barefoot, those are third world problems that we don't see here in the United States. But what we see in the US are people who don't have adequate footwear. They may only own one pair of shoes that doesn't fit them, a whole variety of different things. So shoes and sneakers are one of those personal things that a lot of people struggle with. Oh gosh, do I want to donate or give my sneakers to somebody else? And it's really, the statistics are out there showing collectively what we can do to make a difference in the world by repurposing and reusing footwear, as well as making a difference for organizations, individuals, and retailers who want to make a difference as well. I'll go ahead and have you scroll down just a little bit more, Thea. So since our inception in early 2016, we have kept now over 2.5 million pairs of shoes out of landfills. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. And when we see all sorts of stories about all of the different items that you can recycle in the world, one of the things that we oftentimes forget about is footwear. There is a big push for everybody in early COVID, it seemed. And if you were one of those people, I don't mean this disrespectfully, because I just didn't do it, is we went through our houses and we cleaned things out and we just tried to keep busy and tried to find things to do when we were locked up at home for such a long time. But prior to that, sneaker recycling has become quite a movement, simply because we are, as an organization, are showing the environmental benefits of recycling and reuse, in addition to the fact that we're able to help individuals, organizations, clubs, businesses, and retailers utilize sneaker recycling as a fundraiser. And so I'll talk about that a little bit. We'll go scroll down just a little bit more. So OLLI just did a sneaker fundraiser. If you're an OLLI member or follower, you know that they collected sneakers at their location in Sioux Falls. Everything that we do from start to finish is free. And so that has made our organization even more wildly successful than it was before, because a lot of times individuals or organizations are looking for fundraisers or ways to make money that they don't have to spend money to make money. And we make it really easy. So if you as an individual have, 8 to 10 pairs of sneakers sitting in your closet, or you're in your neighborhood, you can, kind of get a collection bag and send that in, and we will pay you for your sneakers. It's that simple. And a lot of people ask a lot of questions about how we do what we do, but we're very committed to not only the repurpose and recycling, but to making a difference in the planet through recycling. We have a lot of groups like OLLI who raise funds for their cause. One group in particular, especially this time of year, that is very popular. We work with thousands of organizations and businesses across the country every year. But one that really is has been easy and effective for this particular group is animal rescue and humane societies. When we look at our social media a little bit toward the end, you'll see we're very in tune with the fact that we have a lot of customers that are looking for easy ways to help fund, what they're doing and what they're passionate about. The other thing that we're really seeing in the world, if you're familiar with a lot of the recycling companies like ThredUp and other places that are more global as far as clothing and textiles and footwear, you're seeing a lot of your footwear retailers recycling sneakers. We work with hundreds of businesses across the country that in the footwear industry, there is such a huge focus on sustainability right now. What are we making shoes and sneakers out of? And what can we do with them in their afterlife? And so customers are looking at businesses in a different way on what their corporate social responsibility looks like. That may make a difference on if I go into a running store or a footwear store and I can bring in a pair of shoes and trade up for a new pair. That's going to make me feel good as a consumer in order to be able to do that. So there's a lot of different ways that people become engaged with this, as, like I said, an individual just cleaning out your closet, or as on a broader scale, doing it a lot bigger and grander with a business or an organization. One of the things that we've really seen in the last couple of years is businesses and corporations who traditionally have done bake sales or bingo games or whatever for an annual charity. I'm thinking of a company I work with that normally does a whole variety of things to support the March of Dimes. Well, they were all 800 employees all working remotely, so they lacked the ability to congregate and to do something, as a cohesive group. So we came up with the idea where we set up collection sites at each one of their physical buildings, and people could drive through and drop off sneakers. It ended up being a huge success for this organization that had, for many years supported March of Dimes, hated the idea that they couldn't do it this past year because of the pandemic, and we're still able to raise a significant amount of money to support that charity. And so every customer or every partner that comes to us, whether it's an individual, a business, a church, a PTA, or a retailer, has a different way that they're wanting to support what they do. And so we are happy to be involved and help in any way we can. And that's really a lot of what my job is connecting with our partners and helping fine tune those specific requests. Let's go to the support page, Thea, up at the top. I mentioned earlier, if you sign up with us, it's really easy. Have you scroll down just a little bit? We've got one thing I'm really proud of on our website is that we answer pretty much every question that a person could have, because not everybody's educated on sneaker recycling. Many people have never heard of it. When you look at our social media, some of the questions we get or people who comment have never heard of this idea of sneaker recycling. And so it really is, and to be paid for your contribution is even greater. So we are very transparent with what we pay for sneakers. I'll have you click on the compensation guidelines, Thea, over on the left. There you go. And scroll down. We are very clear about the donations that we take. We obviously, we are called Got Sneakers because we are in the sneaker recycling business, but that doesn't mean that we don't get a few pairs of shoes thrown in occasionally, or a single shoe now and then. But one thing that we are very committed to that really sets us apart is the fact that we are a zero waste organization. Nothing that we process that comes through our doors ever ends up in a landfill. And that's a huge thing, because there are a lot of people doing a lot of recycling efforts for a multitude of different products across the world. And what that end product, or where that end product ends up, is really of the ultimate concern. Is, what kind of impact is this having on the environment? So I'll have you scroll down just a little bit more, Thea. Here, what we show is our footwear categories on if you send in a pair of lawn mowing shoes that just need to go to heaven, that's going to fall more into an extremely used pair of sneakers. If you send in a pair of sneakers you tried on and you wore about 4 times and then they ended up in the back of your closet, depending on the brand and the condition, you'll be paid appropriately. One thing that I can tell you is that each pair of sneakers, and they come in by the thousands every year that come in to our warehouse, are touched by human hands and evaluated. There's no mass looking at the overall picture of what you sent in. It's done on a very individual basis, because we know that people are, in some cases, they're trying to earn money. In some cases, it's not about the money. They're doing it more for the environment. But we are very transparent with what we accept, and do a great job of that. And that's why when people always ask me why I work for Got Sneakers, that's one of the biggest reasons, is our mission, what we're doing, and the fact that we're able to help out so many people in a variety of different ways. There's been a lot of press about, just supply chain issues. And where we see that, even being, a sneaker recycling company, we're hearing about a lot of the larger brands and footwear manufacturers that are obviously having problems either getting supplies to make footwear. A lot of it is made in China and Vietnam and imported in the US. If you follow the news, you've seen shipping containers sitting off the coast of California for what seems like months. A lot of retailers are dependent on that inventory. And so there's really a lot more uptick in the fashion industry as far as people repurposing and recycling and reusing, or having access to those items. And so we're seeing a lot more interest in recyclable shoes and things like that. But as I mentioned, everything is free. And if you sign up with us, we'll send you collection bags. We have a multitude of different resources on our support page on our website. If you're anywhere from a PTA at a school, or you're a large company that has a full art department, we provide posters, graphics, all sorts of information. That's going to be up at support via at the top. We've got a lot of different categories. We tell you how to ship things back. We pay by e-check every month, which is really kind of new for people. Any bags that are sent in during a calendar month are paid via an e-check the following month on the 15th. It is always exciting to hear from organizations that are excited to see how much they earned for their club or PTA or their particular cause. And it's always fun to hear from an individual that just did something simple to make a difference in the world, and cleaned out their closets in their house, or their closets of their kids or their neighborhood. I mean, it really does become kind of a community effort. And that's very much like what OLLI did. They put it out there and had people bring in sneakers for the collective effort. So we're really excited to see all of OLLI's bags came in this last month. We're really excited to see not only the amount of money they were able to earn, but more importantly, the difference that collectively all of those sneakers coming in were able to, take them, out of a landfill. One question we get a lot about, because people have heard of sneaker recycling, or mostly end-of-life recycling, is programs that are kind of grind programs, they call them, where they chew up sneakers and turn them into tracks and playgrounds and athletic surfaces. With the pandemic, a lot of those organizations were forced to shut down and not accept sneakers. That also, became an issue for us. And so it got us really thinking and being more creative about what other opportunities are out there in order to make a difference with these shoes that and sneakers that just really need to, you know, be gone. And what we found there, we're working currently with a waste to energy program in Florida that that takes a multitude of different recyclable items, incinerates those to turn them into electricity. And so we're able to get tangible numbers about the statistics on the difference that our contribution makes in the carbon footprint and emissions in the world. And so, you know, that may not be interesting for a lot of people. They just want to get things out of their house and be done with it. But there are a lot of people that are becoming more, you know, thinking more about the environment and becoming more socially responsible. And so that's, like I said, we work with so many different organizations. It's a great opportunity and to, like I said, make a difference in one of the most unusual ways outside of the standard cans, you know, and recyclables and newspapers and things like that, that we've all kind of recycled for years. With that, I'm going to have, we're very active on social media. A lot of our visibility is based on our Facebook and Instagram presence. This is our Facebook page, I believe. Yes. And so I invite you, and Thea will put up the links in the chat. I know that a lot of OLLI members and supporters are very tech savvy people and like to get their news and keep connected in their world via social media. So we invite you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can, and these are great pictures. I'll have you scroll through there, Thea. That's a good visual of what one of our collection bags looks like. And there's the most important one right there, the OLLI bags. Bags hold about, depending on the size of sneakers, between about 12 and 15 pairs. But we have people who are very social, who share all of their different things that they are doing, you know, out in the world. And you can see that there's a pretty significant amount of work being done by a lot of people across the country to make a difference. So we love seeing the photos and hearing the success stories of people who have partnered with us. We're down to like 7 minutes, and then like Thea said, the time goes by really quickly. It always does when you're talking about something that you're very passionate about. So with that, I'd like to open the floor for any questions that people might have. And there is no such thing as a stupid question, especially if it's something that you're not familiar with. So happy to try to answer those for you.
Yeah, Pete, go ahead.
What happens to the new or lightly used sneakers that still have life in them?
Great question. Great question. There's a lot of different smaller and more pocketed regional organizations that might be known for collecting sneakers and repurposing them in other countries. You'll see a lot of organizations like ours based in port cities like Los Angeles and the Miami area for that reason. We have worked consistently with the same exporters since our inception, who are repurposing and reselling these in third world countries, primarily in the Caribbean, Central and South America are where our sneakers go to. These provide opportunities for people who are living on, you know, less than $1 a day to be able to have their own business. It's amazing. And having done an extensive amount of mission work, I now see the importance of this. We think of it as a pair of sneakers that we don't want anymore. That could be a living wage for somebody in another country that day. But we work with very reputable people with the same customers with the same mission, who are making a difference in kind of paying them forward in other countries. Great question.
I'll have you all note I put Denise's contact information in the Instagram and Facebook link in the chat. If you want to grab that, it will disappear after we're done with our talk today. So you want to grab that while you can.
And if you are, you know, I invite you to take a look at our website at gotsneakers.com. Like I said, lots of information on there. We are constantly doing improvements and writing information about how people can make differences. Right now, one of the things that is really kind of top of mind, and I tend not to plan more than one day at a time, it seems like, but Earth Month and Earth Day are in April. We see a lot of an uptick in interest around Earth Day initiatives and things like that across the country. Schools, PTAs, every organization on the planet. I continue to be amazed at the reach that we have as far as the groups that have gotten really creative to collect sneakers. The other thing that's been fun is so many times, and if you're a parent of children that have had to fundraise to send them wherever, I share a lot of war stories when people contact us about how these parents who are band parents or who are involved with, different things their kids are in, are really empowering them to go out and you make a difference, because everybody wears, you need shoes pretty much for everything except swimming. And so, people have footwear out there that can make them money. And so it's a great way to engage kids. We see a lot of organizations and a lot of kid involvement, especially during the school year, a lot of sports teams during the summer. It really is not a one size fits all. I mean, it really, everybody's involvement is all very personal or for a fundraising reason, but it's just great to see so much interest because of what we've created in the world as far as trying to make a difference. And so if you have any interest in signing up, or you have a group that you think might be interested in doing a sneaker fundraiser, feel free to reach out to me, Denise@gotsneakers.com. As I mentioned, I live here in Sioux Falls. My phone number is listed. Feel free to give me a call. But I thank you for the opportunity to share our story and what we're doing, because it's kind of a best kept secret in a way. If you don't aren't interested in things like that, it's not usually something, or you're looking for a fundraiser. A lot of people find us in a variety of different ways. So it's really great to see what people's ideas are for being involved or engaged with us.
This is great. Any other questions?
Hey, yeah, I understood you. You sell the good ones sometimes online, but you said you do actually give them to poor people too, or other countries, or
we actually don't sell online. We export sneakers. Yeah, and what we do is a lot of times the people that we work with are giving those away in the countries in which that they are working. We will occasionally get requests for used sneakers as a donation in the US. We typically try to shy away from those just because it might be a group that is geographically far away from where we are, and the expense of shipping that to somebody might outweigh them being able to access them locally through an organization like a Goodwill or Salvation Army or a thrift store. So primarily ours are sent overseas to make a difference in the microfinance world.
I saw a gentleman in some African country a young guy who had shoes that were like 5 times too big for him, and I just thought, oh, the shoes that we just don't even realize how rich we are.
Well, and I'm blessed because I came from an organization that put shoes on children all around the world, and so I saw that firsthand. As I mentioned, I can't imagine walking around or not owning my first pair of shoes until I was 20 years old. Those are things that if you see somebody walking around South Dakota barefoot in December, there's a lot bigger social issues going on than the fact they don't have shoes. The first world problems we see in the US are things like that. You'll see boys wearing girls' shoes and vice versa, and a lot of those things. But to your point, in Africa, you'll see a lot of flip-flops, a lot of EVA Croc-like shoes. Even just having a barrier between the foot and the soil in Africa can save somebody's life. So we might think of a pair of sneakers in our closet that we don't like because we don't like the color anymore or anything like that. Could be totally a game changer in Haiti or in Chile or another country. The stories that you hear really humble you when you hear about the difference a pair of shoes or a pair of footwear in any condition can make in someone's life. And I feel like I've lived the whole spectrum of footwear, and I own maybe 5 pairs of shoes collectively. So it's kind of ironic, but you don't realize that until you start seeing the tears of joy in somebody's eyes when they get what we think is a really bad pair of lawn mowing shoes. I mean, we feel bad about giving somebody something that's not new, but yet, you know, we're not walking in their shoes or living their life and know what kind of a difference we can make. So it is really a very, very humbling experience.
Wow.
Thank
Denise,
you.
thank
No,
you.
no
That was
problem.
absolutely amazing. I think this is a really, really important topic, and I'm so glad you're the one telling us the story.
I appreciate it.
Really good.
I am so thankful for the work that OLLI does. I have followed OLLI for years, and now obviously with a lot more interest because of Thea and the great work that she and Stacy are doing. And now I'm at that age where I, you know, qualify for all of those educational and senior type things. So I am glad to see so many involved faces and hear the stories that Thea tells about I saw the spring catalog and I thought I could make a full-time job out of going to OLLI classes. So maybe that's what I'll be doing in the next couple of years. But as I said, please feel free to reach out to me personally if you have any ideas or you've got groups that are interested in doing a fundraiser yourself, or feel free to share my information. I would be honored to help.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending. Just a quick reminder, tomorrow's OLLI Shorts topic is how's the weather in Sedona, Arizona? So we can talk about somewhere nice and warm right now. And we'll be back. Use the same link. Feel free to share this with your friends. We want your friends to come to OLLI and learn all the cool things that you get to learn. So thank you. Thanks, Denise. Everybody have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.